Night, Knicks rookie Emmanuel Quickley tells Clippers vet Lou Williams, "You're one of my favorite players. Perk, I know how much you love giving people their flowers. How cool was this moment?"
When this racing.
What do you got, Zach?
Look, Emmanuel Quickley's making all those floaters and runners just like prime Lou Will. I love it. Give Lou Will. Lou Will is a legend. He's a legend. Give him his respect.
Lemon
Give him his
pepper
flowers,
Lou, baby.
like Perk would say.
Exactly. Boom. Perk signal's going out. We will get him back in a moment, but welcome to The Jump. I am Rachel Nichols, alongside, indeed, the host of the Low Post podcast, Zach Lowe. I can't do the pause like you do, Zach. No one Zach Lowe. That's really the answer to this. Coming up, we're going to talk about Nikola Jokic dropping a career-high, tying 47 points last night against the Jazz, snapping their 11-game win streak. Did Jokic's performance change the MVP race? We will discuss. First, though, there are very few things you can count on in the NBA, but here's one. When a team is up by 5 or more with 10 seconds to go, they usually win. And when I say usually, I don't mean like 2/3 of the time or 3/4 of the time. I mean that over the past 25 years, there have been more than 23,000 times teams have been in that position. And in all but 9, the team that's ahead has gone on to win. That is an insane stat. You know, you can drink a cup of coffee every single morning, 365 days a year. And after 60 years, you still would not hit 23,000. All of which makes what happened this weekend all the more absolutely bananas. First in Chicago on Saturday night, it was the Bulls who were up by 5 with 10 seconds to go. And Dame Lillard hits this 37-footer, which is incredible. But at that point, the Bulls still should have gone on to win the game. They've got possession with 8.9 on the clock, except then Zach LaVine gets tied up in the corner. And then it becomes this. Here's how his teammates greeted him afterward, and even Lillard himself recognized this was different.
In these situations where, we down 5, I think with 11 seconds left, those are the moments where the winning team thinks that, they got the game pretty much wrapped up, and the opposing team is discouraged. But, this is one of those ambitious moments that, that never happened. It never comes to life, but, this time it did. So I think because of that, this is going to be a special one.
Yeah, just nuts. But little did we know, we were going to watch it happen again less than 24 hours later. This time in Brooklyn, where the Nets appeared to be comfortably cruising. First half went up 18. But then Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook went to work, combining for 37 points in the fourth quarter alone, with Russ in particular looking more comfortable than he's been all season, putting up a 41-10-8 line. And yet, even after the Wizards closed the gap, the Nets were still up by, 5 with 10 seconds to go, the same position that more than 23,000 times teams had gone on to win it. Except once again, the math flew out the window. First, it was Beal sprinting up court for this 3 with 4.3 on the clock. Washington then goes on to win a game that Coach Scott Brooks called, quote, the craziest finish he's seen in his 28 years in the NBA. Here were the Nets afterward.
We had that game. It should have been ours. So, we just look at ourselves in the mirror and just see where we can correct as individuals and as a group, just especially on the effort. I couldn't guard a stick today. Those guys were just going right around me, and, I was getting frustrated a little bit.
Maybe we thought we had it in the bag, but, too many times we let them waltz right down the lane and get layups. I think we just let our foot off the gas, thought we were going to win, and that's a dangerous game to play.
Certainly, Brooklyn needs to figure it out on defense. In the 9 games since the Nets made the Harden trade, opponents have scored 123 points or more 7 of those 9 times. But if I'm the Nets or the Bulls, I wouldn't read too much into either of these games, considering just how rare the outcomes were. Just 9 times out of more than 23,500. Twice in one weekend. I'm going to need more coffee. So, Zach, what did Russ prove to you last night against the Nets?
First of all, props to the graphic department for the Ferris Bueller reference that nobody under 30 will get. I love it. Second of all, Russ proved he's still got something in the tank. And really, although he had been averaging almost a triple-double, his turnovers had spiked. He just hadn't looked good. He almost looked like he had the yips. He was losing his dribble so much. And the Wizards are going nowhere. Yeah, they've been ravaged by the virus and the health and safety protocols. They've had half their team gone. Everyone's coming back. But they're not getting back into the play-in race unless they get peak Russell Westbrook. And one thing I did not expect at this point in the season was for the Rockets to have so handily won the John Wall, Russell Westbrook trade. But that Russ, the Russ that played last night, that changes the Wizards' season. That gives them a little bit of hope. And frankly, that maybe puts any Bradley Beal stuff on the back burner for a while, because that's something that could literally swing the championship picture.
And do you think, Zach, that this kind of Russell Westbrook is someone that we can see for the rest of the season with the Wizards? What changed for him here?
I mean, last night's performance is probably going to be an outlier in terms of its shooting efficiency, the three-point shooting efficiency, all of that. But there's a big, big gap between that guy and the guy who had played the first 12, 15 games, whatever, of the season. If we can meet somewhere in the middle and Russ can just become a steady presence, something like not quite what he was even the last. People forget the last 30 games before the bubble with the Rockets. He was on fire. He was averaging 30 a game, living at the rim. If we can get closer to that guy, the Wizards, if they get healthy, they have a really good offensive team, or at least a skeleton of one. They can get back into the play-in race. It has not gotten away from them.
And after that game, Zach, Scott Brooks said he was going to break out the White Claw. And in fact, he said raspberry was his favorite flavor. I don't know. What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, we've just got to be able to do better. I didn't even know what a White Claw was until I moved to the suburbs. And everyone in the suburbs, all my mom friends in the suburbs, are all about the White Claw. We have to keep White Claw on hand in case we have visitors. Scotty Brooks, look, I love you, Scotty. Have a beer, have a real beer. Celebrate with a real beer. Pour it in a nice big glass. Unless he gets if he gets an endorsement deal out of this, I take it all back. If he becomes the face of White Claw beverages among middle-aged men, I take it all back.
Maybe this is just the beginning of something beautiful, Zach. We will see. All right, we're getting Kendrick Perkins back. So coming up after this break, we'll talk about Aaron Gordon and Kyle Lowry getting physical last night. Is there bubble beef to blame? We will discuss. First, though, it's time for our distant replay from this date, 1993, featuring Logo MJ.
Corbin tips it up. Jordan's got it. Michael Jordan, don't foul him here. From midcourt, Jordan.
Oh, come on.
A 50-footer he made it. Michael Jordan.
Just regular jump shots for him. Just nothing but a jump shot. No heaves. Just rise up and shoot a jumper.
Shot. That was not a throw. He actually shot that ball from just across
That was not a
midcourt.
throw.
That was a jump shot.